people? Rasati out here in Singapore. Thank you so much for joining me on the Night Out podcast. And you know what? As always, I really, really appreciate the time it takes for you guys to sit down and choose this podcast to listen to write into me, to message me and let me know that received some nugget of wisdom that helped you out somehow. I really appreciate all of you guys. I really, really do. So thank you again so much for tuning in. Meanwhile, as always, all of these podcast episodes are kind of inspired by everyday life, the things that I go through on a daily basis, things that I see. I mean, I aimlessly scroll sometimes, or maybe not so aimlessly, but I do come across a lot of information on social media, things that I think I need to correct or speak about, things that I feel like I need to address because maybe it's not spoken about enough. Maybe it's a concept that's very, very, it's a lesser known idea perhaps. But either way, when I come across these quotes or these memes or these clips of, people speaking or movie scenes or whatever, I get very inspired because something about it speaks to me in a way that I realize that people may need to discuss this a little bit more. So it's an opportunity for me to get the discussion started, right? So with that being said, I want to talk about Tom Bilyeu. I'm a really big fan of impact theory. I love all the things that he talks about. A lot of them sometimes have me like, oh my God, I didn't even consider that. And then sometimes, of course, I have episodes that I watch that I'm like, oh man, you know what? I'm glad he's saying that too, because then I'm not the only one. Well, one of the concepts I kind of want to touch on today is this concept of trying to appear more attractive to the opposite sex. It was an impact theory clip that he had posted like, I don't know, maybe a week or so ago. Let me see. I don't even know. I think it was a couple of days ago, actually. So he posted it and he was talking about, he asked somebody when he was younger what he could possibly do to be more appealing, attractive to the opposite sex, to which they responded, you just have to be an asshole. And I was thinking, oh my God, are you serious? Like, I mean, I've heard that, that answer before. I've had people say, oh yeah, you just go on and you just be mean to them and they'll love you. And you make them chase you and you make them, come after you because suddenly they don't like being rejected. But I really appreciated Tom Bilyeu's take on this. So yeah, he took the advice to heart. He was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. But he thought about it a little bit longer. And then he went on to explain that he understands the underlying concept. Like on the surface, it looks like you have to be an asshole. But if you break it down to the raw form, I guess, I don't even know how to talk about this, but I was so excited I just had to jump on and talk. He broke it down to the place that if you were an asshole, what does that actually mean? It means that you're not attached to whether they like you or not. It means that you're not trying to impress them. You're just being yourself. If you are being an asshole, it just generally means that you do what you do, as you would always do it, whether they were interested in you or not. You would behave as if, you have what you want. You're living the life that pleases you, and you're just being. You're not doing anything with an underhanded motive. You're not doing anything with a specific outcome in mind. You're just being yourself. And it's like a take it or leave it kind of situation. Not so much being an asshole, but a take it or leave it situation. So I've actually seen that at work in my own life. There are some times where people will say, oh yeah, you can manifest this and you can manifest that. But guess what? If you're attached to the outcome, it's harder to manifest. So if it's something that you really, 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 really want, but you could, you don't worry about it. You're not worried about whether you get it today or tomorrow. You're just thinking about this one idea. Maybe it's the perfect house, right? And it's a concept in your mind. It's not really 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2 stories. It's not like detailed like that. It's more like an idea. This idea of comfort, this idea of this escape from reality, someplace where you can kind of hang your hat, throw your cape in a corner and just be yourself for a little while instead of being the hero that you've been all your life. So the concept of it can be created in many different forms. So you're not attached to the details, you're attached to the idea. And that's not so bad. It's easier to manifest that way. It's almost like, I think I went through E Squared, which is a book that talks about, practical everyday challenges that you can learn to manifest with. And it talks about this concept that if you were start talking about, a pink Volkswagen Bug, that you talk about it enough, suddenly you start noticing pink cars and then pink Volkswagens every so often, or blue butterflies. It could be a picture, it could be an actual blue butterfly, it could be anything. So these random things that you start talking about that you kind of conjure up or you talk up into reality, those are the ideas that he's talking about. But it's because you're not waiting to see that specific outcome. You're not waiting, you're not depending everything on it, because if you've noticed, if I'm looking for a specific job at a specific firm with a specific designation, chances are I'm going to be wavering on that idea as well. It's not that I want the job. There will be moments where I justify the fact that I haven't heard from them yet. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not, I didn't do the application properly. Maybe I didn't follow through on the way I spoke to them. Maybe I was rude in a conversation. Like, I can talk back and forth about a decision like that, or a want that I have, a desire that I have, which will in turn confuse the universe. But when Tom Bilyeu was explaining the fact that, how to be attracted to the opposite sex, it's this air of confidence and this lack of attachment to the outcome, which kind of drives people to be more curious, to want to, ask you more or be around you more to find out more about you. And it's actually quite appealing because then you don't feel like you have to act a certain way. You can also be yourself, and it's a take or leave it situation as well. So I like that concept. I really like the way he broke it down. I thought it was very, very different. And it actually made a lot of sense. The fact that we have terms for all of these ideas and behaviors, I understand comes from a very narrow point of mind, but the fact that he was able to break it down to what its essence actually meant, I thought was really, really helpful. So if you think about it, right, let's say I go out. Oh my gosh, I have a great example. There was a time where I was at dance camp, and every week we would have an outing or something where we could go out and kind of take our minds off of dance. We get to go to the mall. We get to be regular teenagers for a weekend, because it's like a 5-week camp that we stay away from home together as a group, and we learn dance. We dance 10 hours a day. So there was one outing where my dance teachers made a joke. They thought they were pulling a prank. I didn't realize it was a prank until too late. But they told us that we were allowed to go to the mall, but we had to dress in Indian clothes. Which at that point I was like, oh, okay, whatever, fine. And I, who was not living with the rest of the girls in the camp itself, in the dorms, I actually lived up the road in my own house. I walked down to camp every day because we were the ones hosting. I went home and I got dressed and I came back down and I was wearing a sari. So we were about to go to the mall. And at some point while I was getting dressed, the teachers came back and were like, nah, we were just messing with you. You can wear regular Western clothes and we can go to the mall. I, however, did not get the memo, and I went back down to the camp, and I was a little bit disappointed. But I realized that now that I'm dressed in Indian clothes and we don't have time for me to go up and change, I'm gonna have to wing it. I'm gonna have to go dress as I am and kind of make the best of the situation. The minute that I dropped the expectation that I would be able to change and be like everybody else, the minute that I accepted that, okay, this is the way I'm going to be today, and I am quite comfortable in a sari anyway, I kind of let go of the expectation that I would be made fun of, that people might look at me differently, that people may stare and point or laugh. And I found a way to be confident and comfortable just as I was. And considering the fact that I was in a group of 50 girls, everyone else was dressed in regular, jeans and a shirt or dresses, miniskirts, whatever the case may be, and I was the only odd one out, I kind of stopped looking at myself as the odd one out, and I started enjoying myself as one of the girls instead. I stopped labeling myself. I stopped seeing myself as separate, and I went in with this comfort level, this confidence that showed that, I'm one of the girls. I'm just like them. I'm a dance student. I am a teenager. I am at the mall with my friends. It's not like I wasn't with my friends. And I ended up having a really great time. And I ended up laughing a lot more. I think I was more at ease in that moment than I would have been if I was focused on the one thing that I didn't have, the sameness when it came to what I was wearing. So it wasn't that I was being an asshole. It wasn't that I was throwing it in people's faces that, I'm different and you're not, or any of those things. I kind of settled in with the pieces of me that were the same as everybody else, and I enjoyed myself. And I think that's part of what he was getting at. You find a way to just be yourself and be happy with the things that you do have, instead of pointing out the things that you don't, or pointing out the ways that you're different. And you start to ignore anything that might come in that kind of derogatory manner or that judgmental manner, and you tend to really enjoy yourself instead. So I really, I loved the idea that he broke this down from a confidence standpoint. When you're confident about who you are, it doesn't matter what anyone says to you, because you love who you are. You love how you represent yourself. You love how you showed up. You love how you feel in the clothes you happen to be in, and no one can say anything to you, because your confidence level kind of blocks all of that in an instant. So these are the kinds of concepts that I kind of want to teach the people around me, because if you can embody that kind of confidence, nobody, and I mean, they can say it, but it's not going to sink into your brain kind of confidence, is the kind of life I want you to be able to lead. I don't care if all the old aunties come up and point out the fact that, yeah, your face is kind of on fire, you're breaking out again, or that you've lost weight or gained weight, or that your hair is thinning, or the hair is too curly, or that your clothes are too tight, or whatever. I don't care. If you love who you are, if you are proud of where you are in your life at the moment, nothing anybody can say will actually affect you. And chances are, a lot of the times they're saying stuff so that you can acknowledge the fact that they noticed, or that you have a specific reaction that they want you to have, so that they know that they've affected you. And when you don't, when you deny them that satisfaction, it's a whole nother level to your confidence as well. So I'm hoping, you guys, as you listen to me rant and rave on these podcasts sometimes, I'm hoping you do glean some information, some nugget of like excitement, confidence that you can adapt into your own life, because you deserve to feel proud of yourself. You deserve to look back at how far you've come and be happy with everything that you've accomplished so far, because only you know how hard you fought to become who you are at this very moment in this place in your life. So if you have any questions, comments, drop them below. You know I look forward to hearing from you guys, but in the meantime, be proud of who you are. You have so much to be proud of. All right, I'll catch you again soon. Bye.